Hair and nails are derivatives of the integumentary system. So they are referred to as parts of the integumentary system because they are derived from the skin. When we look at the function of the hair, when we look at other mammals, it is the function is thermoregulatory. So it helps to prevent heat loss. We have hair generally on our heads, and that is where we would generate a lot of heat loss. So maybe that has a function there. Mostly, we have lost most of our hair on our bodies, although you can still see the hairs. We haven't actually lost them. They are just super, super thin and super fine. And so we talked about how hair is derived from the dermis. So we have hair follicles located in the dermis. And we have those sebaceous glands associated with these hair follicles. The hair follicles include a root. So the root is what produces the cells that are going to become the hair. So just like your skin, your hair consists of dead keratinized cells. So if you were to look at the structure of your hair underneath a microscope or a dissecting scope, or maybe even an electron microscope, you'd be able to see the scales on the surface of your hair. And in fact, we actually believe that hair is derived from, when we had our reptilian ancestor, is derived from scales. So sometimes when you pluck hairs, you can actually see the root come out. So the root is the very dark bulb. It's the bulb at the end of the hair, and sometimes it's very dark colored. And that is where we have those melanocytes that give your hair its colored pigment. That is also where we have cells that are undergoing cell division in order to allow the hair to grow. So when we look at nails, those are on the ends of our digits. So ends of the fingers or ends of digits, fingers and toes. And they are homologous to claws. Our nails grow from a root near the edge of your cuticle, and they grow outward. And so as your fingernails grow, the new cells are the ones that are closest to the nail root, the bed right there, the nail bed, the cuticle. And when we look at the fingernails, they tend to grow faster than your toenails. And fingernails and toenails are protective, if not useful, right? So they could actually protect the tips of our fingers and our toes. And so they are protective in nature, and they are composed of a specific type of keratin that is a structural protein that is a little bit harder than the keratin that we see in the cells that make up the surface of our skin. So we have dead keratinized cells making up the sheath or making up the nail, the hard part of the nail. And then underneath the nail, we have a little bit of epidermis and some dermis. And so it is vascular. So when you look at your fingers, they're generally pink in coloration. And if you've ever ripped off a fingernail, you know that you will bleed excessively when you do that, because the underlying dermis is not protected. It doesn't have these dead keratinized cells protecting it. And so those are just a brief introduction to hair and nails.